Okay, let's start off with the Diddy trial again, still going on. This is, some of these things I won't get into exactly because it's could be really triggering for people. But in Cassie's testimony yesterday, she did talk about some of the more horrific things that she went through with domestic violence and Diddy, when all of those things started happening and why. And something that I don't know if we've heard before is that he got extremely jealous over a relationship that she developed with Kid Cudi. And that caused him to just go into a rage, destroy her place of living and mark his territory, so to speak. Also, other beatings where she ended up, having to have plastic surgery on her face, being stitched up, just awful stuff. And then also now we're getting into some cross-examination today, and they're bringing up things like, well, in this text message, you say, I am ready for a freak off at any time. And also asking her point blank, like, were you swingers? And she did have to testify and say, yes, we were swingers. They're just trying to water down the whole situation and bring up the points that they believe will help Diddy in this trial. That, yes, he committed acts of domestic violence, but that doesn't mean that the charges that are up against him are real. So that's where we are at this point in the trial.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, frankly, at the end of the day, there's a lot of violence, a lot of things we expected, a lot of things we've talked about in the blinds, a lot of things in general that people, while not shocked, are still shocked by the just depravity of it all. And I imagine this is only but the tip of the iceberg. And the prosecution is doing a great job, I think, so far, just creating a sense of what this environment was like that Cassie was in. And we haven't even gotten to, and when I say good stuff, I mean the stuff applying directly to sex trafficking and racketeering. So, I mean, if this is where we're beginning, I can only imagine how much worse it's going to get for Diddy.
I really feel like their case is going to fall apart once we start hearing that these freak-offs got bigger and bigger and that he used money from his company to pay for sex workers and brought them across state lines. That's what we're talking about here. So we haven't even really scratched the surface with that.
We have not. So, yeah, just brutal. But we'll obviously keep giving you the updates as we kick off Blinded by the Item each day this week. And as the trial continues, you guys want to do some blind items?
Of
yes,
course.
Please.
Who thought we could go to the blind items for a little reprieve from horrific?
It used to be that the blinds were the dark corners of the internet. Now, reality is the dark corner of reality.
Yes.
Yikes. Let's go over here. This A-list model quickly wanted the tabloids to pivot to family and her boyfriend. I wonder how that boyfriend feels if he would know she's yachting at the Super Bowl of yachting.
Oh.
This A-list model quickly wanted the tabloids to pivot to family and her boyfriend. I wonder how that boyfriend would react if he knew that she was participating in some yachting activities at the Super Bowl of yachting.
Well, the Super Bowl of yachting, we know, right?
Yep.
That's Cannes, or Cannes if you're French. The supermodel, I mean, take your pick. But
that's our answer. Take your pick. Yeah. And is her boyfriend at the festival because he's in a movie?
He's not at the festival.
Oh, he's not. Okay. But he's an actor?
No.
So this actress, or excuse me, model. Did you say A-list?
A-list model.
A-list model. And do we know who her significant other is?
We do. But he is not in his own right. If I gave you his name, you would not know him.
Got it. So I'm not going to focus on him.
Yeah, don't focus
But I'll focus on her.
We know what he does for a living. We know some details about him.
Oh.
And she
but
models.
You won't know him by name.
Okay. Does
she do anything other than modeling? Like she got side.
Not really. She, I think, mostly. I think she's done. I guess she has done a little bit of acting. A very, very little bit of acting,
like walk on roles and stuff. Like, look, I'm a model.
In fact, her and her boyfriend appeared on the screen at the same time.
Okay.
In the last project that she did.
Okay.
I
don't think this is it, since we know her boyfriend. But I'm going to say Brooks Nader. In
Good
Gleb.
guess.
Okay.
Good guess.
Although that's, man, talk about a publicationship that
Oof.
keeps giving. I mean, every
They-
week. And now she's got a reality show, Love Thy Neighbor. That's what it's called.
Love Thy
Oh my God, that's a
Nader.
brilliant reality name.
Yeah. Aren't you excited to learn
Love
about
Thy
Brooks and her
Nader.
3 supermodel sisters from
Yes.
Louisiana?
Right.
Okay.
I'm not. That was sarcasm.
Rude.
Okay.
Rude. Maybe they'll eat some crawfish. I can go for some crawfish.
But no,
right
it's
now.
not Brooks Nader. Sorry.
Did you say ew, by the way?
Crawfish?
Mike, did you?
No, I love
I
crawfish.
thought you were yucking the crawfish.
No, I was yucking Brooks Nader
Got it.
and
Okay.
every story around her.
Okay.
Okay, back to the
Um,
model. She's an A-list model, and she's doing some stuff at Cannes on a boat. Is she?
gosh.
Does she go to like fashion? Have we talked about her in like Fashion Week?
Oh, yeah.
And
Is it a Cara Delevingne?
Nope,
Okay.
she's not a Kardashian.
she's not.
Giselle?
Nope,
Yeah, we know.
she's out kissing a baby.
Yeah, her baby was just born. Hopefully she's not
Oh my God, that would be
yachting.
terrifying.
This A-list model quickly wanted the tabloids to pivot to family and her boyfriend. I wonder if that boyfriend would be happy about the fact that she's currently yachting at the Super Bowl of yachting.
Is it Naomi Campbell?
Nope.
Gosh.
Okay, other models.
Mm-hmm.
Is she like a younger model under the age of 50?
Yeah,
Okay.
under the age of 30.
Oh, so she
Alright.
is. Her name is.
Is it a Hadid?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Is it Gigi?
No.
no.
It's Bella?
Yep.
Okay.
I was going to say it has to be Bella.
It is Bella. We've seen her out in a boot with her blonde hair.
Oh, so she's normally the dark-haired one,
Exactly.
right? Okay.
And she's now blonde. It's like, wait a minute, what?
Oh.
Both the deeds are kind of blonde now. That's what's going on with that. But according to the blind items, she quickly, if you read some of the recent tabloids, she's talking about wanting to start a family and how in love she is with her boyfriend. Of course, the rodeo cowboy who we saw on an episode of Yellowstone with her and him. Well, I wonder if that boyfriend would be excited about the fact that she's currently yachting at the Super Bowl of yachting.
Hmm.
Well,
That being Cannes.
you know, look, I imagine a lot of people get tarred with the can brush of yachting more than they need to, because if you are a model and you are in Cannes, I feel like don't people just make those assumptions?
Yeah,
Probably
unfortunately.
because of the blinds. So you're welcome. Sorry about that.
We don't write them.
It's
No.
okay. I think they're just enjoying their yacht right now, but
I kind of just want to go. I feel like we should just all take a trip to Cannes, not to like, I don't want to do any of the Hollywood stuff. I just
what
want
do
to
you want to do?
I just want to see the like nightlife party stuff, like what's going on behind the scenes. Mike will be looking at the boats.
This is my favorite time of year
Tell him why.
because Bradley a couple years ago turned me on to Marine Tracker. I think
Yes.
dot whatever.
Marinetraffic.com. They should sponsor this podcast.
They should.com, but you can go on and see all of the yachts because they all have to be registered. All the boats have to be registered. And it's fun because you've got Cannes for 2 weeks. So you just see these billionaires after billionaire dollar boats. I mean, we're $500 million yachts I'm seeing. And then what they do is as soon as Cannes wraps up, it's the Grand Prix of Monaco next week. So you just see them slowly work up the coast and go to Monaco for the Grand Prix. And it's just such a fun little, I don't know, migration of rich.
Yeah.
And I
And
just
like
love
rich
watching
on
it.
a
It's like
level.
birds.
Oh, totally. A level of rich that we don't even understand exists.
Where they never ever have to worry about how much they're spending.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mike was showing me a boat earlier that I mean, it looks like something AI generated.
100%.
Yeah. It's insane.
But billionaires having fun.
Billionaire.
So I don't know if you want to kill some time. It's a fun little search, and then you just Google the name of the yacht and who owns it. You find out who owns it. It's fun.
Yeah, because unlike private jets,
Mhm.
which you can mask for privacy, well, I mean, you can kind of do that with ships too, but for the most part, most of that information is public, so you can just Google like whose ship is this.
And
Pretty
you've done this while you're cruising, right?
I did. I actually snorkeled next to Tommy Hilfiger's yacht. I don't know if he was on the boat at that time, but I did think to myself,
Ooh.
what if I just swum over here and got on? I was like, can I use your toilet? But then our excursion was over and I had to go back to the boat.
And then you're stuck on Tommy Hilfiger's yacht.
That'd be kind of amazing.
Yeah.
And then he would have to because they would have a little helicopter that would come down and take me back to the boat.
And
Sure.
you would be in a tabloid for all the wrong reasons.
Love it.
All right, you guys got that one. We got to Bella Hadid. Nicely done. Let's roll on and do this one here. The reason for the, quote, alliance that we are going to hear about is that the former A++ lister hates the dad of the A-list Nepo baby celeb because that dad is close with the A++ lister's father.
Oof.
The real reason, though, is that the A++ lister's wife sees all the dollar signs attached to the Nepo baby's wife and thinks she's a cash cow who can finance all of her next failed endeavors.
I mean, is this like a Nicola Peltz and
yeah.
Brooklyn Beckham
It's like-
and Victoria Beckham and David Beckham?
Nope, not there.
No.
You got David.
David Beckham.
Okay, so
And-
I'll fill in what you got so far.
Okay.
The reason we're going to hear about an alliance between this former A++ lister and David or Brooklyn Beckham, because you got that part, is because David Beckham is close with the A++ lister's father. The real reason is the A++ lister's wife sees all the dollar signs tied to Nicola Peltz and wants her to fund all of her future failed projects.
Oh God,
Oh my gosh.
this isn't
I
A++ lister.
Former A++ lister.
I-
Usually that's politics, or
It's not like an Obama situation.
it is not. Politics or
Religion. It's the Pope.
Yeah, or
Sports.
no. Higher.
God.
Who is David Beckham potentially very close with?
Oh,
Maybe
the king. Oh, the king.
The
what?
king?
And
Oh,
Camilla?
No. No. So let me fill in what you got so far. The reason for the alliance between this former A++ lister
Oh,
and Brooklyn Beckham is because David Beckham is close with the king, aka this guy's father,
oh, Harry.
William.
Harry.
Oh, hair.
Harry and Meghan wants money.
Meghan sees Nicola Peltz as a funding cash cow for all of her future.
You ain't getting that money.
So you guys clearly haven't read The Sun this morning.
No. No, we were
Because-
too busy. I would just like to remind you,
We've
I-
been covering a trial.
I was covering the Taylor Swift trial, which is actually the Justin Baldoni and
Yeah.
Blake Lively trial, which
Yeah.
is actually not a trial yet, but hopefully will be a trial one day. And then a whole trial called Diddy.
Yeah.
You guys want to have the most outlandish story you've ever heard
Yes.
for today and
Please.
probably this week?
That
Well,
wasn't
you said
Well,
the Sun. So
According to The Sun, there has been I think they called it a summit at the Sussex Montecito mansion between
Summit.
Brooklyn Beckham
Okay.
and Nicola Peltz,
Sure.
along with Harry and Meghan, because they can all relate with how they're just wronged Nepo babies and their daddies hate them.
This is genius.
Oh my God. It's a crumpet
kudos.
summit.
A trumpets. A what?
Crumpet
Oh, I think you said a
summit.
trumpet summit.
Or that. They probably have trumpets too.
A crumpet summit. I like a crump summit.
Crumpnet.
Crump summit.
This is the dumbest story I've ever heard
It
in
is
my
the
life.
dumbest story ever because also I feel like isn't David Beckham? Well, maybe that actually does work then because aren't they close to William and the King?
David is actually like the ambassador for one of his charities or something.
Yeah.
Like he works for the king.
Yeah.
So you're
But
not-
remember, they were invited to the Harry and Meghan's wedding and they went and then they distanced themselves
Exactly.
from Harry and Meghan.
Okay, so
Yes.
this would be a way to give your dad a middle finger.
Yeah.
Because you're siding. Okay, fine.
So what the blind
Fine, we
item,
accept.
what the blind item is implying is that yes, the narrative that we are going to get fed is that because David and the king are close, Harry and Brooklyn are going to get close.
Got it.
But the blind item is saying the real reason is because
of
Meghan's
course.
forcing
Oh, Meghan
Harry's
is the evil
hand.
They
one,
need to
of
make
course.
Megan the evil witch.
because she sees all those dollar signs tied to the pelts and
Oh
thinks
yeah,
they're gonna
because
fund-
Harry and Brooklyn doesn't see the dollar signs.
They're just throwing it up, going, our dads
our
hate
dads
us.
are mean. And then the nefarious ladies are like, we'll show them.
And then Nicola's like, sure, just let me get out my pocketbook.
Although to be fair, if Nicola Peltz or Brooklyn Beckham invited me to anything, I'd go.
I wouldn't know what to wear. I'd be like, I need to get on Temu real quick.
Girl,
Temu.
you're not going
Just
to
kidding.
You ain't buying clothes on Temu
I'm just kidding.
for Brooklyn Beckham and
What do
Nicola
I
Peltz. You're like,
do?
I'm real frugal in my fashion.
Which is why I need money for my project.
What's your project?
Well, I'm pretending to be Meghan right now, and I'm myself.
No, I want you to be you. So, like,
Okay.
if you're trying to pitch Nicola Peltz to like
Mhm.
fund your latest project, what's that project?
My project is me doing ghost hunting around the world
Oh,
and
okay.
in fashionable clothes.
Because the ghosts
I
are more
think you're
likely
about
to rat.
90% there.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I would Shark Tank that.
Okay.
There you go. You got that blind item.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
That was a good one. I did not see that story today, so
Well, enjoy it if you want to have some good bathroom
for sure.
reading.
My God,
Because that's
So
where it
silly.
belongs to be.
did you say bathroom like Reader's Digest?
Some bathroom reading, yeah, because it belongs in the toilet because it's absolutely false. But hey, let's have fun with
What if it happens?
already happened according
It
to
happened.
I'm
sources?
just saying, like, what if it's for real?
And then they stayed over, and then she gave him some bath salts.
And then she got burned, and then she was like, "Okay, I'm not funding you anymore because you burned me with your bath salts." Like that one lady who's trying to sue.
Yeah.
What a
another
journey.
What a journey. Let's do another blind item here. This former A-list musician has avoided the country for years, but they are broke, so they had to roll the dice. Clearly that, just like most of this musician's decisions, was a terrible one. This former A-list musician had to avoid a country for years, but they're broke, so they didn't have another choice than to roll the dice. Clearly that, like most of this musician's decisions, has been a terrible one.
What?
So we've got a former A-list musician has avoided a country for years.
Why?
That's what you got to figure out.
Because they're broke?
No, they've avoided a country for years, but because they're broke,
Oh.
they had to roll the dice and go to that country.
Is it Bieber?
No.
So is it a country that is this like a political thing?
Nope.
I didn't think so because you don't usually bring us those. So then I'm trying to think like what makes you avoid a country other than politics? Their food?
Nope.
Okay.
A reason you'd want to.
It's a long layover.
Oh, is it because of taxes?
No.
Okay.
Is it because it's far away?
Nope.
Is it because the people there
Shakira?
Emphasize the fact that this is a former A-list musician. Why might this person be former?
because they are bad?
Yeah.
They're a bad?
Oh,
They're
it's
bad.
a crimey thing.
So
They're going to be extradited?
well,
It's not Shakira though.
it's not Shakira.
But it's like a Shakira. Like they did
More
something.
serious?
This is a much more heinous act than just tax
Oh,
evasion.
is it like an assault thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Oh,
So a former A-list musician has avoided a country for years, but now they're broke. So they had to roll the dice. Clearly that, just like most of the decisions this musician makes, was a terrible one.
Kevin Spacey doesn't play any instruments, does he?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to think of my problematic
Yeah.
men
He
because I'm
does,
assuming
but-
this is a man.
Good assumption.
All right. So is it coming to the United States?
No.
Okay.
Is it a European nation?
Yes. And they
England?
went, and they found out why they were avoiding it.
Because they got arrested.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown has avoided going back to England for years, but he was broke, so he had to roll the dice. Clearly that, just like most of Chris Brown's decisions, was a terrible one. He just got arrested.
Dude.
For throwing a bottle at a producer, a glass bottle, right? Like a beer bottle?
Breaking a bottle over a producer's head. It
Yeah.
happened a couple of years ago. He's been wanted basically since this happened. He lands, and then literally hours after he lands, oh, guess what? He's here. Let's arrest him now. And they did.
Yeah. So I feel like a lawyer could have told him that.
Yeah.
Guys, after seeing this blind item, I went down the Chris Brown rabbit hole.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Can you just bear with me here for a second?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to take
Please.
40 seconds of your time.
I
2009.
have it.
We're going to start in 2009.
Okay.
Obviously assaulted Rihanna. We
Yeah.
know that story. Next year, Chris Brown was detained or denied a visa to the UK. Then he had an alleged meltdown in a backstage situation with doing an interview with Robin Roberts. The next year, Chris Brown was involved in a nightclub brawl. Then the next year, he violates his restraining order. Then he had a clash with Frank Ocean. Then he had a probation revoked. Then he had an attempted felony assault. This is all 2013.
Oh.
Then he entered a rehab facility, came out with bipolar disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. He was then kicked out of a Malibu treatment facility. He was then granted early release from jail. He pled guilty to assault. He pled guilty to another assault. He was then banned from entering Canada. He then hit a man in Las Vegas. By the way, we're only in 2014.
Oh.
He was detained in the Philippines. He canceled a tour. He was investigated by police. He sued his ex-manager. He was arrested for suspicion of assault. We've made it to 2017. He allegedly punched a photographer.
Yeah.
He was then ordered to stay away from an ex. He was then alleged assaulted another woman with sexual assault. He was charged with possession of a restricted species. He had a capuchin monkey.
Did you just say restricted
No.
species?
He had a capuchin monkey.
He had a little monkey.
You guys saw
Can we
Outbreak?
just
You know
stop
how that
giving
works?
people monkeys, even though the one in the last season of Righteous Gemstones is adorable? Let's just not do this anymore.
Oh.
Guys, we're still in 2019, and I'll
Okay.
stop there. But he
Thank
was detained in Paris. He was struck a woman at his
Oh.
home. He was drugged and allegedly drugged somebody in Miami. He was in another nightclub brawl. He had this nightclub brawl that eventually he was just arrested for.
When is there time to make music?
I don't know, which is probably why he's broke.
Yeah.
And by the way, he did try to sue Warner Brothers for $500 million over their documentary where they called him a serial rapist and sexual abuser.
Oh, well, how'd that go for him?
Not well.
Okay.
So there's your Chris Brown
That was
update.
a lot, and thank you.
Sorry,
for
I had to
putting that
go
into
through it.
I have to be
perspective. No.
reminded, if I
I
ever get
didn't
an
know half of
invitation
that
to
stuff.
hang
Like
out.
I had sort of like a vague handful in my head of things that have happened since 2009, but that was clearly
It's insane.
insane. Yeah.
All right, let's move on from Chris Brown. Give him no more of our time.
What?
It's probably not a good sign for the movie when this foreign-born A-minus list actress can't even act well enough to get through a pre-rehearsed question about her and this higher on the list actor and what they've been up to. It's probably not a good sign for the movie when this foreign-born A-minus list actress can't even act well enough to get through a pre-rehearsed answer to a question about what her and the higher on the list actor have been up to. Yeah.
Is this Anna de Armas?
Yes, it is.
Oh, is this bad news for Ballerina?
Well, yeah, according to the blind item here, because she just appeared on GMA this morning with Michael Strahan, and she kind of fumbled through her answer about what her and Tom have been up to.
Look, if you're going to publicationship, figure it out.
Yes, be ready for that question.
You know that question is
So
coming.
have
I
an
do not
answer.
understand that. Yeah. What was you? We don't.
I know the
remember
question.
answer.
He just, and now let's be clear, it's GMA. So every question was vetted. Everything was lined up.
Yeah.
All he said was, man, in addition to all this action for the movie Ballerina, you've been doing a lot of different action scenes with the king of stunt work and then she went on to say, oh yeah, Tom and I have spent time together because this director and this director who's worked with Tom on Mission Impossible, we've got some projects in the works. She very much played into we're just friends who are working on projects.
Ooh, I wonder how Tom's going to feel about that because he wants the rumors that they're dating. That's all designed by him.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't want to just squash it into, we're just working together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I just think she is like, I'm just here for the publicationship. So
Yeah.
please don't get that
Exactly.
stink on me.
No doubt.
I don't need that.
She always has her dogs with her
Good.
to protect her.
I would.
Yeah.
Dog power. You never know when they're going to show up with soup cans.
My gosh.
Speaking of
Oh.
permanent A-listers, this permanent A-list actor has been spending less and less time with his, quote, significant other. She is pushing marriage way too hard, and he has no interest in going down that road again. According to the blind item, speaking of permanent A-listers, this actor has been spending less and less time with his, quote, significant other. She is pushing marriage way too hard, and he has no interest in doing that again.
Come on, let's get married.
Mm-hmm.
Former A-list actor?
Nope, permanent A-list
Permanent
actor.
A-list actor. And they're
Is
not
it George Clooney?
It is not.
I was going to
This
say they're
person's-
married, right?
Correct. They are married.
Okay.
But of that generation,
Oh, very much so.
it's not Harrison Ford. They're married, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, I thought you were. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Little cutie pie.
Cutie pie.
Now, this George Clooney was a good guess.
Okay, so up in that area, Brad Pitt?
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, sure.
By association, George
Yeah.
Clooney, because they're obviously like super close besties.
Busted.
According to
She
the
wants
blind-
to get married.
According to the blind items, yes, she is desperate to get married again, if you believe the blind items. But Brad Pitt is like, no, I'm not going down that road again. I have no interest in doing that. So he's spending less and less time with her.
You know,
Oh, okay.
look, if you don't want to get married, that's fine. There are other ways to get what you want. I'm just saying, like, what is it about the marriage that you need? Right?
Yeah.
Let's
Good
think
question.
critically.
Well, if you get divorced, you get a bunch of money.
I know, but you can have arrangements
Sure.
like we do Monday through Friday.
Oh, I thought you meant you and I. I'm like, what kind
Well,
of
the
arrangement?
three of us have arrangements to show up every Monday through Friday. We're on the radio. You can
True.
listen there. You can also download our podcast wherever you get those. Like and subscribe and leave us a review. But I really hope you like and subscribe and click the notification bell for our YouTube channel. It's called
Blinded by the Item.
Bye.
Blinded by the item.